I'm holding a clear glass of water. Let's say that this is the judiciary in the Philippines, and it contains clear water. No? That means pure, drinkable, clean water. Drinkable by the Filipino people, meaning it's good for the Filipino people, no? Because water is good for the health. But if you add, this gets exhausted. Members of the judiciary retire. They're changed. Let's add a little coffee from Congressman Dato Manong. Here. It's no longer clear, isn't it? The coffee that is being poured in are the new judges and justices. And the container from which they come from is the responsibility of the JBC. That is our responsibility here, to see to it that the water that comes in is as clear as the water inside the cup. Sorry, that's one. I owe you another cup of coffee. So we say that our job is as critical as that of the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court can never maintain the clarity, the purity of the water inside the glass unless the water that comes in, that is poured in by the JBC, is just as clear. So we have that responsibility. And as a matter of fact, if originally the water is not so clear, and we put in clear water, the water in the reservoir or in the cup will become a little clearer, isn't it? So the JBC holds a critical function in the desiderata of the Constitution. What are the qualifications of judges according to our Constitution? Competent. Competence. These are required by the Constitution. Competence, integrity, probity, independence. Why have I memorized them? Very easy. I have a code word. CP, C-I-P-I. Competence, integrity, probity, independence. CP, isn't it? As a matter of fact, I made it a little bit easier in my speeches. I said, there are really 4 Ins of a good judge or of a good judiciary. 4 Ins: independence, integrity, intelligence, and industry. They're all there also. So easy to remember. But if you want to be technical and go to the Constitution, we say CP, C-I-P-I. But as I said, it is the responsibility of the Judicial and Bar Council to see to it that all those who enter the judiciary, the reluctant doors of the judiciary, have the CP and the Ins. You are the pioneers in this effort. There was a time when the judiciary was simple also. We remember the days, those of us who have passed the age of 50, like the Justice Secretary Gonzales, Secretary Dato Manong, Dean Di Mayuga, Justice Hermosissima. We remember the days way back in the 60s, when going into the trial courts, we already have nervousness. We're nervous because the judges were very strict. We call those days. The judges are very strict. We shudder at just appearing before the judge. And we say, well, those were the days. But now, there is a criticism against the judiciary. The judges are no longer the same. But I always say, well, we cannot really pine for the old days all the time. People change, institutions change, because there are many things that make people change, make institutions change. Sometimes for the worse, but most of the time for the better. At that time, they didn't have the information age. There were no computers, there were no modems, there were no internet, there were no radio and television networks. that pried into the private lives of the judges and the justices. There were no demands from rallyists and militants as they are demanding now. And even the enclave of the judiciary has been invaded by the information age, by the rallyists, by the militants. And we have to adjust ourselves. And I think that the earlier we adjust to it, the better. The information age is here to stay. People would want to pry into the public and private lives of everybody, including the members of the court. I remember that during our international conference on judicial reform, this was one of the topics discussed. And in fact, it was the topic that was zeroed in during that teleconferencing between the U.S. Supreme Court justices and several chief justices who were attending. And I cannot forget the answer of Justice Stephen Breyer of the U.S. Supreme Court when he was asked, "Do you relish criticisms by media?" He said, "No, but it's inevitable. We might as well learn to live with it. I don't like it, but they criticize us. What can we do? We have to learn to live with it." In the same way with us in the judiciary, we have to learn to live with it.